Não sei, você que sabe. We would like to ask everyone to turn off your electronics. And we are inviting the preteens to sit here. Today is the first Sunday, so please sit in front because you're going to stay in the room. Teens and preteens are staying in the room today because we have our English lecture. It's the first Sunday of the month. It's December! Good morning, everyone!
Good morning!
Yay! So, because it's December, we have special celebrations this month, right? What do we celebrate? Yes, Jesus' birth. So we should be celebrating every day, but we take a special month to celebrate it. Thank God, at least we take a time in the year to think deeply about Jesus. And we are going to start, instead of reading a first message, today we're going to start with a little video that we found. Because I was thinking, when I was a kid, I always expected Christmas coming with lights and trees and gifts, and I always wondered what Santa was going to give me. And as I grew older, I started to realize the real meaning of Christmas and the real gift that I would like to receive and give others. So I found this video really cute, and I'm so happy to see kids that also thought like me and realize the meaning of Christmas. Magda.
Christmas is when I get presents from Santa.
Having presents. Christmas is when Santa Claus comes.
Like the trees and the lights.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho.
This is ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. My favorite thing about Christmas is to give presents because it makes me feel good inside. I can't stop myself from laughing. It's where we celebrate Jesus' birth.
He makes it Christmas time.
Jesus was born in a manger.
I don't know what else.
3 wise kings, they saw a star.
And that led them to Jesus.
The shepherds saw the star too, and they were watching their sheep, and they saw some angels come. He was born in Bethlehem in a stable. But the angels said, "Don't be scared." And they showed the way to the stable. And the wise men were there too. And they gave presents. I don't really know the presents.
They gave him 3 presents: gold, myrrh, and frankincense.
We give presents now on Christmas because the 3 wise men gave presents at Jesus' birth. I was there when Jesus was born. I would probably thank him and tell him how much that I loved him.
I like to give Jesus the gift of keeping the commandments.
If I was there when Jesus was born, I would thank him.
I love him and give him toys.
Could obey his commandments
By doing the right things.
If I was there when Jesus was born, I would tell him that I love him.
Because he's special. Baby Jesus makes me feel happy.
The story of his birth makes me just kind of emotional sometimes.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
like to invite Nadia to do the initial prayer. And as we do our prayer, let's ask ourselves, if we had a chance to be with Jesus, what would you tell him? And remember that Jesus is with us all the time. And sometimes we forget. So what is the message that we want to say to Jesus?
If you would like to close your eyes to better hear the voice of our loving Creator inside of us and better connect with this great Spirit that has come to help us progress and evolve, our dear Master Jesus, that we may look back at his footsteps and try to trail it using all the power of love that's inside of us. Please, we ask our spiritual protectors that involve us today in love and light. Involve our speaker so that he can deliver the message he came here to give to us, and that we may be open to receive it, understand it, and put that into practice in our daily lives. We do ask that the love and light here that we will create by connecting with Jesus and his loving spirits may spread around to the community, to this country, to our planet, and may bring that energy that lifts up the spirits of those who are in desperation, loneliness, sadness, that they may believe like we do that we are here for a purpose. And along the way, we should give each other hands and walk together. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a few notes. Next Sunday, it's our Christmas celebration. It's not going to be here at Centro. That's how they say it. They say that. No matter what they say in English, and then they say Centro. And it's going to be at Hatteras Park. If you don't know where Hatteras Park is, Soy has the address and the tickets. At the end, we can stop at the bookstore, the library, whatever you call. Get your ticket. Child is $5. 6 to 12 is $5. 13 and up is $10, and under 5 is free. If we know that not everyone may be in a comfortable financial situation right now, so if you cannot donate for this party financially this time, just say, I would like to have a ticket. It won't be asking you for money, because your presence is much more important than that. So please come, bring your family, your kids, your spouse, your mom and dad, whoever you want to bring. Just talk to Soy at the end of the morning activity. Also, next Saturday, we are going to have the final rehearsal for the Christmas play from 1 to 3. So please, mom and dad, bring your child, your teen. If you want to go do your nails, if you want to go shopping from 1 to 3, feel free to leave them with us. But please be here at 3 to pick them up, okay? Throughout this year, we had many opportunities to help out our community. And one of the work that was done was the bake and rake. Who participated in the bake and rake? Rake and bake. Thank you, Kylie. So it was in Brookfield, right? And they sent us the award like a thank you for you guys. So I would like to hand you the award they send you as a thank you. So I would like to call here Maria Luisa Pesarini. Is she here yet? Not yet. Kylie went. Kylie. Come here. No, walk here. You raked all morning and now you can come here. Thank you. So the Pesarini family is not here. I know there are a lot of adults that helped. We really appreciate your help. I can give you the award if you want to, but we prepared this for the kids. Mateus is also not here yet. Mayara Freitas. Mayara, thank you. Thank you guys. And Mariana Freitas. Guys, thank you. Thank you. And the other names, they're not here yet. But we really, this I'm giving away because they send to us. Usually what we do here at Centro, we have the hours that you helped us with the community, and then we have a letter, which is not given today. But these are those who we got from the Brookfield Center Community Service, thanking you guys. It was awesome. Thank you, parents, to come along. Thank you for all the help with the Thanksgiving baskets and all the work we do here. Now, we're gonna go to our class. Tia Fernanda, tio Júnior, tia Patrícia, tio Eric. Oi? Aqui no domingo tem mais? Tem mais. Tem 4 classes lá dentro. Hã? É porque é a família inteira. Menciona isso, que é legal. Guys, now we have a special guest that we are very thankful for him to be here and for all those who come here every Sunday. We also have the SER, this Society of Bridgeport. They always come to join us on the first Sunday of the month because it's an English and event, and also for the youth group. And thank you if you're coming to visit us for the first time. We are really happy to have you here. And we're going to invite Heidi to introduce our guest speaker.
Good morning. Our guest speaker today is Júlio Carvalho. Júlio Carvalho first encountered the Spiritist doctrine when he was about 14 years old. Since then, he has become an activist participant in the United States Spiritist movement. He has co-founded the Spiritist Center Divine Light in Newark, New Jersey, which he coordinates with a group of friends. Júlio has become a prolific speaker, disseminating the Spiritist message not only in the tri-state area, but also in the Union County Jail, where he works as a mental health counselor. Thank you, Júlio. We're really excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone, let's start by wishing peace in our hearts. First, I want to explain that I will adapt the language, the information, to the young adults we have in the room. Yet, what we strive to do is never to lose anyone from the audience. So I will adapt the language to the young adults, yet I'll be addressing the adults as well. As my good friend mentioned in the introduction, I work in the jail system. And I work in the jail system for the past 11 years. And every month we have to do statistics. And I had an opportunity to add all the inmates I've seen in the past 11 years. And it's approximately 23,000 people I've spoken to in the past 11 years. And many of the inmates I spoke to, the 23,000 of them, they're there, unfortunately, due to substance abuse. 2 weeks ago, the head of the Department of Health, now who is that individual? In the United States government, there's a doctor who establishes what is good and not good for our health. So this doctor, he wrote a report. And the reason why he wrote this report, it's because the entire country is really concerned with the amount of people they are killing themselves. Due to substance abuse, approximately 48,000 people are killing themselves. And this is not the regular suicide. This is a suicide that is related to substance abuse. Now, you might look at me and say, well, but this doesn't apply to me. The only thing I'm addicted to is to chocolate, ice cream, video games. But since you're here today at 10:30 in the morning, I am assuming you are very smart young adults. And by being very smart young adults, you might have a friend that is not as wise as you. A friend that could be making very wrong choices right now. And because you have the knowledge, you will be able to help your friend. Because when it comes to substance abuse, it starts very subtle. It starts in a way that whoever is abusing the substance, they are not aware that they are making an abuse. So if you are aware, if you know the knowledge, if you know the information, not only you'll be able to avoid it, to prevent it for yourself, but most importantly, you'll be able to tell your friend that they are not making right choices. Usually, when we are young adults, the greatest challenge is to believe that we know everything. And in my job, when a young adult gets there, after a month of being in jail, and let me describe to you what is to be in jail. When you get there, first they stripped of your clothes to see if you're bringing anything that is prohibited in the jail system. Then they give you jail clothes, which sometimes it's not clean. Then you're sent to a room that is this size. I'm going to walk the size of the room. Okay? Excuse me, my friend. Can you picture the size of the room? Yes or no? Can you say yes as if you have eaten breakfast? Yes or no? Yes. Good. I could smell the egg and the ham. And then they are over there by themselves. After a couple of days, they are allowed a visit. Who comes to visit them? Their parents, not their friends from the outside. Their parents. And why? Because parents are people who truly love us, who make any sacrifices for us. Yet, I know for a fact that at times what parents do say, it's nasty. It's annoying. Yet, it's the best thing for us. Now, there are a lot of people in our lives that we so-call our friends. What they say, we love to hear. It's so cool and nice. Yet, it's the worst thing that we can hear. But when they go to jail, they finally understand who is on their side. The people who are saying not so much cool things. Because those who call them friends before, they don't come to visit them. You know why? Because they don't care. They were just using and abusing the innocence of that individual. Now, you might think that you're not innocent. But to be innocent, it means to ignore, to not know. I am innocent in a lot of things. For example, I never went to Seattle, Washington State. So I ignore, I don't know Seattle State. Someone who is at Seattle in Washington State, they have more expertise, they have more knowledge about their state than I. It makes them with more experience than I do. The reason I say this is that your parents, an uncle, a grandfather, a grandmother, might not say the things that you like to hear, yet they have experience. What is experience? They have lived many years before you. And because they have lived many years before you, they know what life is about. Another way of saying this, I don't know kinetic. I just followed the GPS, make a right, make a left, and I just get here. All of you have more experience than I about kinetic. You have more authority. If I have to get to a destination here in Connecticut, any of you have more experience than I do. So it would be very stupid of me, very dumb of me, not to listen to what you have to say. Because you know kinetic. Our parents, grandparents, an uncle, an aunt, because they have lived more years, they know more about life than we do. So it would be very dumb of me not to listen to what they have to say. I say this with so much passion because for a lot of young adults, they wait to get to jail first, then realize who are the real friends. They realize that their friends are their parents. They're real friends. So 2 weeks ago, the general surgeon, this man in the U.S. government responsible for the health of the country, released a report. And he released a report because there is an epidemic going on. 48,000 people are dying of drug overdose in the U.S. Now, these are not overdose in the slums. These are not overdose that are happening in the project area, the poor section of the cities. These overdoses are happening everywhere. And how do they start? Most of them start by no one noticing. A grandfather, a grandmother, a mother have an accident, goes to the hospital, goes through a surgery, and after the surgery, the doctor prescribes a pain medication. And the parents, unaware of the danger of the pain medication, will leave the pain medication in the bathroom cabinet with easy access to anyone. In 1996, a drug company called Purdue released a drug called oxycodone. Have you ever heard of this drug before? See, when I made the joke before, only the adults laugh. Now, when I ask about this medication, only the young adults answered the question. You see how this is so real? They know about this stuff. You guys don't, because you're living in a different area. Oxycodone, it is extremely addictive. But when it was created by the drug company Purdue, it was to address cancer, stage 4 cancer patients. These are people who are dying. Science has established that they're terminally ill. There is no reason to give them medication for their disease. But cancer is very painful, so they give them a pain medication, oxycodone. But the drug company saw, well, if we're only going to give this to the people who are dying, then we're not going to make enough money. Let's lie and say that anyone who has any minor pain should be taking this medication. And let's lie that it's non-addictive as well. And that's what they did. So the drug company helped this epidemic crisis that's going on right now. 48,000 people of substance abuse. It is a crisis. There is enough pain medication being prescribed right now to every single adult in the entire country. 250 million prescriptions per year. So back in 2006, when the government realized they made a mistake, Purdue company lied to the public, and they need to pay for this. And how do you make people pay for something? With money. So the government sued Purdue company, and they paid $650 million. Is that a lot of money? Can you say? Can you answer as if you have eaten breakfast? Is that a lot of money?
Yes.
Not loud enough. Is $650 million a lot of money?
Yes.
Girl, someone answered in Portuguese. You know what? It is a lot of money. But for each year that oxycodone was sold, the drug company Purdue made $1.6 billion. They called a blockbuster medication. Why they give that name? You know, when a nice movie comes out and everybody's going to watch it, they call it blockbuster. So they give that name to that medication because everyone was taking it. They made already more than $1 billion with this drug alone, oxycodone. So a young adult sees it, takes one, takes two, and the scientists, they say that one is enough for addiction. Just one. Do you guys like science? I did not hear too much enthusiasm on that answer. Do you like science? Beautiful. Please don't laugh of my drawing. You could laugh. You know what I'm trying to draw here? A brain. I have to let you know what it is. If there is something I don't know how to do, is to draw. In our brain, there are three different parts that are related, they are involved in the substance abuse process. The first one is the basal ganglia. That is the part of our brain responsible for habit formation. You know, if you like swimming a lot, if you like basketball a lot, volleyball a lot, you get really good at it because you keep practicing it. So when you are practicing something, when you are repeating the same movement, you're activating this part of your brain called the base ganglia. And it's responsible to make you good at something because you create a habit out of it. And while you're doing it, it gives you pleasure. You feel good that you're doing it. This is the part responsible for it. It releases a chemical called dopamine. And this dopamine gives us a sense of pleasure. We like it. We feel good after doing it. But when it comes to substance abuse, one pill get this activated, but then after this get activated, another part of our brain gets activated. And that's the extended amygdala. It's not important to know the scientific part to that extent, but the amygdala gets activated. What is the amygdala? The amygdala is the part of your brain that tells you to fight or flight. Either you stay, you confront the issue, or you run away. So now that the individual is completely off the medication, this system is activated and they feel anxious, tremors. They want to get it. As if something is about to happen, when in reality, they just off the pill. Nothing's about to happen. But they feel a need to fight or flight, or leave, run away. And then the last part to be activated is the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that helps you make a decision. Should I go right or should I go left? Should I get vanilla or strawberry? Popcorn, ice cream. That's the part of your brain that tells you which choice is best for you. So the drug, after getting these two systems activated, it takes control of the prefrontal cortex, and the person loses their ability to tell what is right from wrong. The person loses their ability to tell what is right from wrong. Do you understand me so far? Yes? I do not want to scare anyone, and I apologize for the strong language. But this is so scary, and it's happening everywhere, that I feel a need that I must let them know what's going on. I'm pretty sure they know already what's going on. Since the individual loses their control to choose right from wrong, now they're not just taking one pill, they're taking 2 pills, 3 pills, 4 pills, because they can't tell anymore what's right and what's wrong, what's enough and what's not enough. But then, there's not any more. What's the next step? Steal from the parents. And they start stealing from the parents. And when they go visit an aunt, an uncle, things starts to disappear. A watch, a cell phone, and the entire family is in completely disbelief that something is happening. Why? Because no parent wants to face the reality that their kid is addicted to any drugs. So the easiest way out is to be in denial. No, this is not happening. Never, my Kimberly. Never, my Richard. They start stealing, and after the family finds out, and there is nothing more to steal, then they start stealing on the streets. And after they start stealing from the streets, then they'll find out that instead of buying these drugs from the streets, because there are plenty of them, remember 250 million prescriptions per year, they find out that heroin is cheaper. Heroin, oxycodone, Percocet, all of these drugs, they belong to the same chemical family. They activate the brain the same way. It's what are called opioids. And now they get to that point that they know heroin is cheaper. They start sniffing heroin. But then they're disrupting all this mechanism. They're not feeling the same pleasure. Now they're getting sick from the withdrawal of the drug. Then they get to the next step, which is to inject themselves with heroin. Now, the people I've seen in the jail doing this, you will never believe that one day they would do these things. The drug dealer who are selling them the drugs, do you think that they care about the well-being of this individual? Yes or no? No. Just trying to make more money. And since he is just trying to make more money, they keep adding stuff to the heroin. They add any kind of white powder together with the heroin. So when someone injects themselves with heroin, they're injecting themselves with sugar, with wheat, with rat poison. So their veins become obliterated, full of pus, holes everywhere. And you have an 18-year-old looking like she's already 30 years old. Very old. And the part that hurts me the most is that from stealing, then they get to the third stage, which is to sell their body. Now, the kind of girls I've seen there doing this, and the kind of boys too, because boys can sell their bodies. You would never think that such a pretty girl, such a handsome boy, coming from such a perfect family, from such a perfect background, would ever do these things. It's an illusion. It can happen anywhere. But we, spiritists, we have the extra, super, gigantic bonus of coming here every Sunday to get ourselves wised up. When we come here, it's not about learning who was Allan Kardec, when he was born. Does that matter to us? Would that change our lives in any shape or form? No. What we come in here is to know how to live, to outsmart other people who are making these dumb choices. Because while they're doing it, they're thinking they're cool. They think they belong. That everybody looks up to them until either they die from overdose or they go to jail. And they suffer so much. Because now they don't have the drugs that they're addicted to. And they realize how much damage they have caused to their own lives. So if you have a friend who is popping pills, if you know of someone who think it's cute to steal their parents' medication, let them know where this is going to. There are tons of YouTube videos right now that shows to parents, teenagers, the entire society, the dangers of substance abuse. Why? Because now it's not just touching the poor people or the minorities. It's everywhere. This is why they're so concerned, because now it's everybody. There is an entire movement right now of parents that when their child died of overdose, before they used to lie. She was sick with cancer. He had a heart problem, because they were embarrassed to tell the neighbors that their children died of overdose. Because it seems that if the child is using any substance, it's the parent's flaw. So parents are embarrassed to say that their child died of overdose. But now there is this entire movement in which parents are saying, my child died of overdose. In a funeral, there's a whole heading right there saying this child died of overdose. Why? To help the parents open up their eyes, so the same will not happen with their children. It starts very subtle. Tylenol 3, cigarette smoking, from then marijuana, from the marijuana, heroin, pills, and so forth. And we might think that this will never happen to our child. Please do not be innocent. This is really being naive to think this way. We must have our eyes wide open to these crises that is happening right now, not only in the U.S., but mostly in the U.S., but in the entire world as well. Now, why is that? Do I blame only the drug companies? Absolutely not. The epidemic right now is taking shape because the conditions are perfect for that. When we send children to school, in school, children are taught to rationalize, to think, add, subtract, divide, multiply. But when we send them to church, there they are taught not to think, just believe in this and that. And which one they're going to pick? Think or just believe? They always will pick to think. It makes more sense to them. But thinking alone, it's not strong enough for us to fight the problem. This is why in Spiritism we must be different. To believe not because someone told us so, but because we understand ourselves. We understand our own belief system. Our friend, when she called us, she asked us to choose a topic for today. And I chose a topic in which is universal. What goes around comes around. And in the jail system, the people are learning the coming around of their actions. Now, the only reason they are learning this process, it's because they're faced with pain. They're there for 2 weeks, for a month, 2 months, 3 months. So they're learning now what they have to do because of the pain that they're facing. But you guys are very smart. You are very intelligent. And what that means, that you don't have to wait for pain to learn. We will learn through love. We will learn because we care about ourselves. What is to love myself? Is to choose what is best for me. Júlio, do you smoke? No, I don't. Why is it? Does Spiritism prohibit you from smoking? No. Spiritism allows me to do anything. I could do whatever I want. So why don't you smoke? Because my intelligence prohibits me from doing it. This is the only set of lung I have. Well, but if you don't smoke, you're not cool. You know, it's very easy to smoke. You go to places, you see everybody smoking. So there's nothing cool about smoking because everybody does it. How hard it is to do something everybody's doing it. It's not hard at all. To be a real man, a real woman, it's not to do what everybody else is doing it. Do you drink? No. Does Spiritism prohibit you from drinking? Not at all. I could do anything I want. So why don't you drink then? That's because my intelligence prohibits me from drinking. I've seen so many horrible stuff happening over there because people were drinking, that it would be super stupid of me to drink. Not to mention that it kills my body in the process. Cigarettes alone, very expensive addiction. $9 for a pack of cigarettes? $9. Help me here. If someone smokes one pack of cigarette per day, it's $9. $9 in a week, how much that would be? $63. Okay? So I am paying $63. I'm investing in my cancer. Lung cancer comes for free, but I'm paying $63 for it if I smoke a pack of cigarette per day. Now, what if I want to know how much money I am buying cancer? A hand of applause for him, please. I was about to use mine. This amount times 12. Calculator, please. We have here 4, we have 10, 1, 8, 9, 2, 5, 2. So we have 4, 2, 4, $3,424. Do you know how much is vacation, all inclusive, for 2 to Bahamas? $2,900. I could go to Bahamas, all inclusive, for 2 every year instead of killing myself with stupid cigarettes. I'm not saying that it's a sin to smoke. It's not intelligent to smoke. God is not going to get upset if I smoke. This has nothing to do with God. God does not change how he feels about the things that we're doing. This is about me being smart towards myself. I'm not going to waste my money on this stupid stuff that's going to get me sick. I'm going to go to vacation instead. Or buy a bike. Alcohol. I'll never forget this girl. She was 19 years old. They just graduated from high school. Her high school sweetheart. She was in love with this boy. And they were going to college, and the boy said to her, we've been 4 years together. I love you, but I want to spend more time with other women, he said. And she was destroyed. Because when we are 19 years old, it seems that the only person on the planet is the boyfriend or the girlfriend. We don't realize that the world has 7.5 billion people. And that's the only individual that we saw. So, she was brokenhearted. He said, maybe in the future, if I see you again, we might go out together. But now I want to be with other people. That's what he said. So, how did she solve the problem? She went to a liquor store, bought a bottle of vodka, stepped into her car, drove to a park. She parked her car, and then she started looking for a radio station. A radio station with depressive songs. When you said you always find depressive songs to listen to? It's unbelievable. When we are depressed, we're supposed to put happy songs, not depressive songs. We're already depressed. So she started listening to depressive songs, Radiohead, Taylor Swift. And then she drank the entire bottle, put the car in reverse, ran over something, but she was too drunk to feel it, didn't care, went home. 2 hours later, police shows up, brings her to jail. Does she care? No. Why? Because she's drunk. They strip her of her clothes. They put her in this cloth called turtle suit. It's nasty. They never clean it. It's a special suit in which you go to a cell with no bed, no toilet, nothing. It's just you in the suit. No bed, no linen, nothing. On the floor. Did she care? No. She was drunk. On the following day, when the alcohol was gone, she came back to her senses. And she found out that she was in a cell. In a special cell with a special suit. Why? Because she killed the son of the judge of her city. The son of the judge. That's the person who was running at the park. And when she put the car in reverse, she ran over the son of the judge. 23 years in prison. That's how much time she got. Now, I know for a fact that when she went out driving, she didn't say to herself, tonight I'm going to get drunk, drive, and kill someone. I know for a fact that that's not what she was thinking. But the minute she started drinking, she created the conditions for trouble. Conditions for trouble. When someone smokes pot, I know they don't want to get in any trouble. But they are creating the conditions for trouble because they are affecting this part of their brain, the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that makes us to do judgments. Is this right or wrong? That's gone. When we smoke pot, when we drink, we use any substance abuse, and that's what happens. By losing their discernment, they create the conditions for pain, for trouble. Does she regret that she did that? Absolutely. If she managed this problem in a different way, her boyfriend dumped her, she'll get depressed for 6 months, and then what would happen? Another boyfriend would show up. She'd start going out again and forget the loser. Right? Yes or no? Yes. Even a 3-year-old agrees with that. Huh? Drinking is never a solution to anything. And Christmas is coming up. And we saw the video. And the video said, and most of you agrees with this, that this is the birthday of Jesus. A celebration of someone special who came here to let us know the right way to live, to avoid pain and misery. Now, if you don't like basketball, for example, and let's say it's your birthday, and your parents, your relatives, your friends decorate the entire room of your birthday with basketball theme. Would that be upsetting to you? Of course it would be. You don't like basketball. Let's say you don't like rock and roll music. And that's the only kind of music they play throughout your entire birthday. Would that make any sense? Absolutely not. They're hurting the birthday person here. So if the 24th to the 25th is the date that we celebrate Jesus' birthday, we should ask ourselves, how are we celebrating the individual's birthday? Jesus himself. Could Jesus attend to the own party that we're making for him? Because sometimes what you see on Christmas night has nothing to do with the celebration of a person that came to help us, to free ourselves from any addiction. Getting drunk on Christmas Day, would that make any sense whatsoever? From the point of what Jesus came here to teach us, absolutely not. People are buying gifts from left to right, and they lose the point of why we are celebrating. Therefore, these people who get in the jail system, they realize these things because of pain. Pain teach them the right thing. Now, do we have to wait for pain to learn something? Yes or no? No. I didn't hear you.
No.
Let's say that this microphone stand is a fire. If I put my hand on this fire, what would happen? I'll burn myself. So the moment I feel the pain, I quickly remove my hand from the fire, because there are pain receptors on my hand that makes me feel the sensation. They're called nociceptors. Now let's say I remove this pain perceptors of my hand and I put my hand on this fire. What would happen with my hand? It would burn me and I wouldn't feel it. And by the time I look at it, my hand would be gone. All I would have is just my wrist. So here we have evidence that pain is very useful, because pain gives me a very powerful message. What's the message of pain? Change. Change what? Change my hand's position. Pain is so important that there are people born with a disorder that they have no nociceptors. They don't have these pain receptors. They die very soon. They're constantly breaking their hands and their legs because they don't notice, they don't feel anything, and they die. Pain is very useful because it brings a powerful message. Change. Change what? Change my hand's location. So when we feel pain in the jail system, that's what they do. They change. Change what? They change the people they're going to listen to. They're not going to listen to their little buddies anymore. They will listen to those people who they know now have proved to them over and over again that love them. Parents, teachers, nice grandparents, uncles, who give them good example. Now, do I have to literally make this experiment to experience pain? To know that pain, how painful a fire is? Do I have to do this? No. I can simply see someone else putting their hands on fire. I see their facial expression, and I notice that's painful. The same applies to life. I am telling you what can happen to you if you don't listen to those who care about you, who love you. Don't wait for pain to teach you. Simply listen. I know it's annoying what they say, but it's the best thing that we can hear. And by doing that, you become super friends. You'll be able to see your friends who are making those mistakes, and you'll be able to let them know, don't go that way. And let me tell you something. If they don't listen, and one day they go to jail, something bad's happened to them, who they're going to remember? The bad friends? No. They will remember the people who told them the right thing to do. And that will be you. You become a super friend. But this is not about becoming a super friend. This is about you avoiding pain for yourself. Because what goes around comes around. If I'm making mistakes, negative things would happen to me. Simple as that. Time is very short. I enjoy so much being here with you. And before I go, let me tell you a nice story. There is this gigantic fire on a forest, and all the animals ran away for their lives. Amongst these animals, there was a small red bird. What was the color of the bird? Red. Can you sound as if you are alive, please? Red. Good. Amongst this bird, there was a red bird who thought to himself, I cannot just sit here and watch my entire forest just die. My entire community, everything I lived for is in there. I must do something about it. And the other animals ask him, what are you going to do? He says, I don't know, but I have to do something. So he went out and he started flying, looking for a source of water. And he found this small body of water, a little lake. When he noticed, he dived and flew as fast as he could, opened his little beak and put a single droplet of water, got his wings wet, and flew towards the fire. As he was approaching the fire, he noticed how hot it was, so then he had to gain altitude. And when he felt in a comfortable altitude, he shook his wings, opened his beak, and a single droplet of water fell on the fire. He went back again, dived in the little lake, got his wings wet, got a little droplet of water on his beak, went over, gained altitude, shook his wings, opened his little beak, and a single droplet of water fell on the fire. He kept doing this. And then all the animals just stood there with their necks going from right to left, right to left. And you know what they did? They started to mock him. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? You're trying to kill an entire forest fire with a single droplet of water? They started laughing so hard they got cramps over their stomach. They were on the floor laughing. But he kept going anyway. And the story goes that the gods, by watching his perseverance, his determination, they became very emotional and their eyes filled up with tears. The tears rolled down from their cheek. The tears became the rain, and the rain killed the fire. What is the moral of the story? This bird has so much to teach us all. Lesson number 1. If everybody is not doing, that doesn't mean what they're not doing is the right thing. All those animals, they were the majority, yet they were wrong. So you don't follow the majority. You follow what's right in your consciousness. That's what the little bird thought. What's right is for me to do my part. I don't care what everybody else is doing it. Because being a young adult, we go for what everybody else is doing it. And a lot of times what everybody else is doing is not the right thing to do. Second lesson. When they started mocking this bird, look at him. He's so crazy. You know how important it is other people's opinion in whatever age we find ourselves in? That is something really stupid that we do. We give so much importance to other people. And what I'm amazed of, it's how much importance that we give to other people's opinion. They don't like us. When I get upset, when I get mad, when I get angry, because someone said something about me, all I'm doing, I'm just giving power to that person. It's not wise for me to feel disturbed because someone says something about me. People will always say something about you anyway. So that bird didn't change his mind because of other animals' opinion. He did what was right in his consciousness. You know why? Because if someone talks very highly of you, you're not going to get better. If someone talks very low of you, you're not going to get worse. You are who you are and not other people's opinion. So don't give them power over your life by being upset because they say this and that about you. You are who you are and not other people's opinion. Can you repeat that, please? I am who I am. Not with this church voice, please. Loud, powerful. I am who I am. And not other people's opinion. Because if we give too much importance, they're in control. We are not. And last but not least, we achieve something big in life by doing something small continuously. That's what that bird did. You will achieve something big in life by doing something small every day, continuously. And by doing that, happiness will be yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Júlio. We appreciate very much you coming all the way down up here from New Jersey.
Terrible handwriting.
Thank you very much. It's very important that we have you here. I'd like to invite Bia to do our final prayer.
God and Jesus, thank you for all that we have learned today and all that we have learned so far. Help us to be able to take all that we learned through the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the year, and for the rest of our lives. Help us teach the other people who don't have the chance to learn all that we do, to help them make better choices and help ourselves to make better choices in everything that we do. Please help us so that we can celebrate the birth of Jesus in the way that he would want and would be respectful to him. Sin seja.
Thank you, Bia. Thank you, Júlio, again, and thank you, everybody, for coming. Two things that we need to remember. This afternoon, we will have an activity with our young adults helping the interfaith. So please stay here. And we'll be there at 2. So everybody that's involved, please remember to be there at the right time. It's a very important activity. The other thing is, I don't know if you have noticed, but we have an activity outside our center from our neighbors. Please be respectful, and let's use the golden rule. Do to others what we like others to do to us. They have an activity outside. We have to be respectful. Let's please